Most people think that power in life comes from producing big results, like making money, building something successful, achieving some huge outcome. But that's actually not where real power comes from. Real power comes from something much, much simpler. It comes from knowing the inputs that produce the outputs. Anyone can produce an output once. Someone might launch a business that works, someone might have a viral video, someone might make a lot of money in a short period of time. But if they don't understand what actually caused that outcome, something interesting happens. Like they can't repeat it. And this is like what we see with like one hit wonders. They produce a massive output once, but because they don't fully understand the inputs that created it, they can't recreate it again. The result wasn't controlled, it was accidental. And in today's economy, anyone in business and media, all of them have become hyper obsessed with understanding the inputs. If you look at Mr. Beast, he knows exactly the inputs that produce, a thumbnail and a title that will get you to click on a video. And then that's one part of the journey. Then it's like, well, how can we retain your viewership for the first 30 seconds? Because the percentage of the people that retain viewership for the first 30 seconds actually watch the whole 12-minute video, right? And then you solve for that. And then you solve, right? So they obsess with like the inputs that create these outputs, right? So even Alex Hormozy, right? Anyone who's huge right now and dominating their space, whether it be, business or YouTube, whatever avenue and vehicle it is, they are you just no longer are the days where you can just produce an outcome, right? Like we've just evolved too much as a society to understand, that, at least some of us, right? Because I look at a majority and I'm like, they haven't. And it's like, they would be so much happier if they just understood this, right? But outputs are results, inputs are causes. And the person who understands the causes behind an outcome has something extremely, extremely valuable. They have control. Because once you understand the inputs that produce a result, you can repeat them, you can refine them, you can improve them. And over time, you can produce the same outcome again and again. And that's when results stop being random and start becoming predictable. So most people spend their time obsessing over outputs, the money, the growth, the success, but they focus on the result itself instead of the system that produces the result. So the more powerful way to think is instead of asking, how do I get this result? You ask, what inputs consistently create this result? And that question alone will absolutely change your life. Once you find those inputs, the result becomes much easier to reproduce, right? Because agency is the feeling that you have control over your life. And agency doesn't come from having a big outcome once, it comes from understanding how outcomes are created. And when you know the inputs that produce the outputs you want, something changes. You stop relying on luck, you stop hoping things work, you stop thinking that they have it and you don't. And instead, you start building systems that generate the results you're aiming for. So the powerful person isn't the person who produces the biggest result once. The powerful person is the one who understands the inputs that create the result that they created. Because once you understand the inputs, you can produce the outputs. And when results become reproducible, it stops being luck and it becomes control.